I want to first start the video off by saying I really enjoyed the video on unity and diversities. It was very informational and it was very beneficial to me because I'm soon to be a first year teacher. It covers a lot of information about just introducing your kids to different cultures and introducing your kids to unity. And in the video, it was different teachers from California within different school districts in California, and they were talking about how they incorporate unity and differences into their classroom. And so I remember at one point they were talking about, especially at the lower elementary, to introduce unity. They talk about the concept of community and how, like, and one teacher was saying that in her classroom they had a project on like how would they help their community out, and it's basically just explaining and showing them like that they're different people make up of their community, but like you're supposed to accept all those different people just like you accept in the community. And it something that really stood out to me was the teacher was saying that she was talking about the definition of community and she was relating it to school, and she was like the classroom is community as well. And that really stood out because the students were able to relate how their home community could be the same, that similar of their school classroom community. And she gave them a project on what could they do to help out their community. And some of the kids were saying that they could gather their friends and family and go buy materials to help clean up the community. And I don't think the kids really understood the importance and significance of what they were actually doing, that the project did, because it opened their eyes to being accepting of those cultures and those different people within that community. Just like in the classroom, you have different people from different backgrounds, and you have to work and be accepting of those people because they do make a difference and they're all for the same cause. So that was very important that I seen. Another thing was one teacher was talking about family trees, and she was talking about how the family trees and how the family tree works and how it's set up, and she was relating it to like everybody's family tree is not going to be the same. And she kind of mentions that, and she has them do their own family tree and share, and she has them like notice that this family is going to be different from this family, but that's okay. And it was just really, she had them do the project so they can become more aware of each other and within the classroom, but also more aware of themselves and be able to work more differently and more together. And then another teacher in the video talks about he was in this classroom that's primarily a Spanish speaking or one of those dialects of Spanish or Mexican of those dialects. And he was talking about how sometimes he has to have a translator in order for like some of his students to understand what he's saying. But he was working with family trees as well and trying to get the kids to understand the significance of lineage within their families. And that was pretty cool because he mentioned that they don't really have diversity in the school, and he stands for diversity because he's the only white male American within that school. And he said most of the kids are used to people of this women of their same culture teaching them things. So he said it was kind of new for them, and it was different diversity for them, but it's diversity for him as well. And he just incorporates unity within having that female assistant translator in the room so it can give the kids comfort and more easy to talk to him. And then there was a teacher that talked about racism and ask the students within how would they would define racism, and why would they define it that way, and like could there be racism within a school, not necessarily like being racist to a certain group, but he was talking about like specifically Berkeley. He was like, how you feel about Berkeley, and this is how you feel about your school. So you're trying to put up this group or this assembly to protect your school and the image that you have of your school. And I thought that was really important. And I think these scenarios are important because I'll be teaching first grade. I want to teach first grade, and this day and age, there are a lot of different cultures coming to schools, and especially in the Southeast, there are a lot of different backgrounds and situations, and I feel like this video helped me be able to help my students understand that differences are important, but we need those differences to create unity within the classroom. And I feel like that's what's mostly important. And then culturally, this helps because it's opening other kids' minds to different cultures around them to make them more accepting of the culture. And it helps also teaching diversity because it helps with like the different languages or the different disabilities. Like one lady talks about how she reteaches things and how she pairs her students up so that she has students that are high and students that are low, and she pairs them up together so they can be able to balance each other out. And I feel like that all helps within the structure of a classroom to create that unity and accept those differences.